guys, welcome to the Migraine Scoop with Coop. That's me, Jennifer Cooper. I currently reside in San Diego, but where I'm originally from is a completely different video blog as I've lived all over the world, so stay tuned for my next video. I've had migraine for 26 years and been chronic for 14. That's a long freaking time. Clinically speaking, chronic migraine means that you get 15 more migraines or more a month. I started having migraines when I was 12 years old. I remember visiting my childhood friend at her parents' house in Cape Cod, Massachusetts. And on my way back home at the airport, I remember getting this pounding headache and vomiting at the airport, and I couldn't make my flight back home. And that's when her mom suggested that I might have migraine. And sure enough, from there, my migraines only continued to get worse over the years. In 2006, my migraines became chronic, and they also became intractable that year. And intractable means that you can have migraines lasting up to 72 hours continuously, and I was getting them near daily. And so after seeing some really good multiple neurologists, we were able to break the cycle and get them from intractable back to chronic. Over the last 14 years, since 2006, I've had months and even years where I'm almost migraine-free being on preventative treatment. But then I'll have flare-ups where I will have periods in which I become chronic again, even being on preventative treatments. And I'll even go through periods where they become intractable again, even with seeing some of the best neurologists in the country. Over the last 3 years, they've become especially difficult and intractable at times, not every day, not every month, but at times. And not only have they become intractable at times, but I've also developed vestibular migraine, which in layman's terms means that I get severe cognitive and dizziness and words not coming to me, dizziness and vertigo. And so that makes concentrating extremely difficult at times. So trying to deal with that has been very challenging over the last few years. So I'm going to multiple neurologists. I've even visited the Mayo Clinic in Arizona this past year to seek additional treatments and trying to do what I can to get back to a intractable, relatively stable state. Having visited some of the best neurologists in the country, I am very fortunate in the sense that I get to try out some of the newest medications and devices as they hit the market because my neurologists are in the know, and so I am super fortunate in that sense. So that is something I would like to share with you guys, all the things that I've tried that sometimes work for me and sometimes don't, unfortunately. So currently I'm on 9 different preventative medications, 4 various vitamins and or supplements, and 2 monoclonal antibody injections per month. And then every 3 months I also get a neurotoxin injection. And in addition to that, I also have various abortive medications that I take when I get a really bad migraine, as well as some various devices that I use to help alleviate the pain when I do have a super bad migraine. Not only have I tried many medications and devices, but I've also tried acupuncture, chiropractic care, physical therapy, dietary modifications, massage therapy, and most of these have had little to no improvement, unfortunately. I'm still investigating and trying some of these techniques, but unfortunately they have not made significant improvements in my migraines. In addition to my migraines, or chronic migraines, I also have chronic urticaria, which basically means I have chronic hives all over my body, unknown hives. Gross, huh? Not only is it gross, but it's extremely itchy and really painful because they bruise as well. So that's one of the monoclonal antibodies that I take monthly that help to help me to moderate that condition. And again, I'm one of the more severe patients, so it took a lot to figure out something that would help with that. But at least they're relatively under control with the monthly injection that I take. I also have interstitial cystitis, which causes frequent UTIs, and also urgent urination, yikes, and also ulcerative colitis. I won't get into that too much right now. You're welcome. Having a chronic migraine a lot of times comes along with a lot of other comorbidities, and so a lot of times you have chronic migraine as well as a lot of these other different conditions. So it's not uncommon to have other chronic conditions, which hence seems to be why I have a lot of other conditions, even though they may not be related. But for me, it seems like I have a lot of different autoimmune issues. While this channel is going to focus mostly on the chronic migraine, I will from time to time touch on the other chronic conditions because one, it affects my life, as well as maybe it'll help some other people out there suffering with some of these other conditions, and be able to kind of enlighten, or not only enlighten, but be able to explain some of those therapies that I use for those conditions as well. Because in addition to the chronic migraine, which is the main thing that I suffer with, I do have flare-ups of my other chronic conditions as well at times, and it makes navigating the different specialists as well as my medications quite challenging at times. So throughout this journey, I have really tried to stay positive, even though there is days and weeks and months where it is extremely challenging. I know many of you know that you go through pain every day. Sometimes you don't get any relief. So when I'm in an intractable state, I know that it can be extremely challenging, wondering when you're ever going to get relief. And I know everyone's journey is different. I am lucky in the sense that my intractable states do eventually, I come out of them, but not too long ago I was in an intractable state for over a month and a half, and you know, I wake up with the migraine, I go to bed with the migraine, and it just never breaks, and you're just like, when am I going to, you know, have that relief? And when you do finally have that relief, it is just like no other. You're like, wow. And those are the moments that I remember, how thankful I am and how I try to enjoy, the time where I do have breaks in the pain and the cognitive issues. And so one of the things that I try to do is I try to, stay really positive and, remember that there are going to be moments for me that I am going to come out of this, and, there's always new treatments coming out. I personally try to wear this bracelet. It's called a mantra bracelet. I'll put a link down below. You can put any type of saying or mantra that you want on it. Mine personally says, braver than you believe, stronger than you feel, smarter than you think. And it just reminds me of, you know, I can get through this, and I am braver than I think. And so anyway, I'm hoping that this channel will motivate others to, you know, stick it through and know that, you know, you're going to come out on the other end, even though there may be times where you don't feel like it. While everybody's journey is different, you know, just waiting for that moment of maybe a little bit of pain relief, or, you know, maybe even if you're at mostly a 10 and it goes to a 9 or an 8, and, you know, feeling that little bit of pain relief, you know, being grateful for that, and just, you know, trying to put things in perspective, and knowing that, you know, every day not every day, but knowing that there is treatments, more and more treatments coming that may help us. And I know that, you know, over the last year and a half, we have, you know, had so many new migraine treatments come out, both preventative and abortive, and I feel like this is kind of the time where they're finally, you know, putting in some research, and, you know, maybe there will be something for, you know, some of us. And I know some of those medications are already helping some people, and I think that is amazing. And so maybe one of these days it'll help me, and maybe one of these days it'll help you as well. But while I know everyone's journey is different, I'm hoping that my channel will inspire others to stay positive, be insightful for various migraine treatments and medications, and be a place for me to share my story. So please subscribe. I hope you look forward to my next video, and feel free to leave any comments or questions below. And thanks again for checking out my video.